underneath, we have definition of international relation and foreign policies, objective and determination of foreign policies, and globalization. Then we will talk about the key international organization, which are ECOWAS, African Union, United Nations Organization, like that, like that. Then we will begin. Since you don't have questions, so we just move straight to. Then we will be talking about the International Monetary Fund. There are lots of international organizations. We have the Commonwealth, but I picked this one so that we can treat. You can read the rest. So now, what is international relationship? I guess this is not the first time you're hearing this word, international relationship. When you talk about international, it has to be worldwide. When you talk about it, you have to do with what is in the country. So when we're talking about international relationship is another aspect. It's another aspect of or branch of government or politics. Now it refers to the interaction of state and non-state actors. State and non-state actors. Now it is the study of how countries interact with each other and with multinational corporations. It looks at politics, economic law, and diplomacy on a global scale. So when you talk about international relationship, it has to do with how Nigeria interacts, the relationship between Nigeria and US, or the relationship between US and Canada, or the relationship between Russia and Nigeria. So it has to do with the interaction between two countries, between two states. You can say state or country. Then I'm trying to give you a simple definition. So it has to do with the study of how countries interact with each other, how they cooperate with multinational corporations. It looks at politics, looks at their economic, their law, their diplomacy, and the rest. That's international relationship. International relationship. Now, when you talk about international relationship, we have the key areas of international relationship. What are the key areas of international relationship? When you're talking about international relationship, we have foreign policies. These are the key areas you look at. What is foreign policies? Now, the country, a country's plan for dealing with other nations, the plans, the strategy they use in dealing with other nations, that's foreign policies. That's foreign policies. When we talk about diplomacy, diplomacy means like a peaceful negotiation and communication between countries. They negotiate. So that's a peaceful negotiations between two countries. Then we'll talk about war and peace. Of course, countries that are in war, countries that are fighting, they promote peace. So relationship between two countries, this one can interact when there is a conflict in this country, there is a crisis, there is war, that relationship is there. Then we have international laws, and we have global organization. So we'll talk about all these things, we'll pick them and then discuss them. Then we go to foreign policies. Like I said, this is the main thing we need to talk about. What is foreign policies? Foreign policies is another concept to international relations, which goes hand in hand with national interests. This connotes and what array of strategies, the decision, and even measures that are employed in the course of what? Of interaction. You see, like I said, foreign policies, those measures that countries take to interact with other countries. So it's a foreign policy is the plan or strategy or country use to interact with other countries. There are plans they use in interacting with other countries. That's foreign policies. That's foreign policies. Can be economics. So yeah, we have foreign policies, the plan or strategy a country uses to interact with other countries. Sorry. There are certain factors and forces, some of which are natural, some are artificial, again, some are permanent, while some are temporary, others are within, while others are without. They all tend to determine the efficacy of what of the foreign policies of a state. So when you talk about foreign policies, a simple definition is say is the way a country interacts with another country to protect its interest. You can just give it that simple definition if you cannot remember this. But just know that when you talk about foreign policy, just know the strategies that countries use to interact with other countries, the strategies or the way a country interacts with other countries to protect their interests, to build a relationship, to achieve its goals. That's the main purpose, to achieve its goal in the international community. So you can say foreign policies are the strategies a country use to interact with other countries in order to achieve their goals. In order to achieve their goals. So that's a simple definition of foreign policies. So when you talk about foreign policies, when you see it in the exam, you to understand foreign policies. They are the strategies that countries use. The way, okay, Nigeria, what are the things Nigeria use to interact with other states in order to achieve those strategies that they use to interact with other states in order to get something, or the strategies that other countries use to interact with Nigeria in order to get something, all those kind. So you understand. Now we move to the objective of foreign policy. If I'm too fast, you can draw my attention to anything you don't understand. So when you talk about objectives of foreign policies, what are the objectives of foreign policy? Friendship and cooperation. That's one thing foreign policies promote. Friendship and what cooperation. If there's no friendship between these two countries, there's no way they can cooperate. There's no way they can interact. Yes, we have Gaza fighting Israel or Iraq fighting Israel today. There's no interaction. If they want to interact or get something from, there's no way because there's no peace, nothing, no cooperation, no friendship. So another one objective of foreign policies is what there should be friendship and then cooperation. When there is friendship and cooperation, you're able to interact peacefully. Then we have peace and security. Peace and security. Are you saying something? Then we have peace and security objective. There's peace between two countries. Security is well secured. Everywhere is well secured, is tight. So with that, that's one of the objective of foreign policy. They will have their national interest, not just the interest of a particular country. It has to be national. The interest supposed to spread wide, national interest. Then we have international or domestic problems. International problems like we have now people fighting between other countries. All those. So with all of these objective of foreign policy, why is there foreign policies? Well, to promote friendship and cooperation, peace and security, national interest for every the international and domestic problem. There are some countries facing some problems. They need international, they need foreign policies in order for them to what to relate. And then maybe with those relationship and then discuss the issues affecting them, they will want to solve problems. They will have peaceful resolution of crises. Their main aims is just to resolve crises between states, promote peace, promote security, and that's the objective of foreign policies. Then we'll talk about determinants of foreign policies. Now, determinant of foreign policies. We are talking about the objective. Can you guys hear me?
Just
Hello?
start hearing you now.
Oh, hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. Okay. When you talk about determinants of determinant, it's different from the objective. The objective is what they want to promote, the reason for foreign policies. And we'll talk about peace, security, like that. Now we'll come to determinants. When you talk about the factor that influence countries, the factors, when you talk about determinants of foreign policies, it has to do with the factors that influence a country's foreign policies. What are those factors that influence a country's um, um, foreign policies? Those factors are what we have: military power. Military power. If Nigerian military power is strong, it should be able to influence other other country to want to what to want to promote Nigeria. Oh, this thing is strong, and they can interact because they believe that okay, Nigeria, they are military, they are very strong, they are well secured. You need to understand. So these are the determinants that actually influence a country foreign policies. So powerful nations like we have US now, they are a very powerful nation. They can interact with any because they are strong. They have strong military. They have strong military. So when you talk about the military strength of a country, actually what determine the foreign policies of the country. The powerful nations may use force or threat to achieve their goals. Like US now, they can achieve anything they want to achieve. If because they are the world power. So they can achieve it because they have a strong military. They have a strong military. So they can say, okay, if this country is fighting, stop fighting. You don't want to listen. Because everybody has to, because they are very powerful. So they want to respect them and because they use their military power to achieve a lot. So the power nations and the powerful nations, they likely use force to influence what? To influence threat other countries and then achieve their goals. Then we have the economic development, economic interest, economic development of a country, like trading, investment, like that they influence countries to relate with others. Like if Nigeria is really booming in their economy, other countries want to relate with them because they know what they can get from them. Is it oil, surplus of oil? You see them interacting because in a way they are trying to what promote their foreign policies. Then we have the geography. Geography has to do with the location, the land map, the surrounding. So a country location actually affects the foreign policies. The surrounding actually affects foreign relations with other countries. Foreign relations with other their location. Like Nigeria is located in Africa and it's natural. Like they have a lot of natural resources. They have a lot of things. So a geographical area, Nigeria is also a big country. It's big. If you want to talk about one of the biggest country in Africa, you tend to look at Nigeria. So those geographical area actually influence the foreign policies of a country. Then we'll talk about the technology development. Technology development. If we are not talking about technologies, Nigeria is not yet even up to that standard. We're not even up to that standard. We're still growing. But technology development actually promotes the foreign policies between other countries. You go to China now, you see the way they are well developed when it comes to technology things. All those things, people influence other countries. They want to, oh, you want to do something, you patronize China, they can produce this, they produce that. Then the leadership, once the leadership is also good, it also influences the foreign policies of the country. There are a lot of things, the size and population of the country, the size also what influence the policies of the country, the foreign policies of the country. There are a lot of determinants. There are lots of them. The size of the country. We have the location, a lot. Friendly association, peace and order in a country. All those things actually influence foreign policies. Now we'll talk about globalization. What is globalization? Now, globalization is the process by which the world becomes increasingly interconnected through the exchange of goods, services, informations, ideas, culture, technology, and people across nationwide, national border. That's globalization, the process by which the world becomes increasingly interconnected. What's connecting this to this? What connects this to this? Maybe it's goods and services, their information, their idea, their culture, even technologies can connect other countries. So that's globalization, the process by which the world becomes increasingly interconnected. Now, another simple definition is say globalization is the way countries and people of the world interact and integrate with one another, making the world more connected and interdependent. Interdependent, relying on each other, they're connected in one way or the other, can be connected through their economics, they can be connected through technologies, they can be connected through their culture, can be connected through information. So globalization is the way countries and people of the world interact. So when you hear the word or you see it in your exam, just go globalization is how countries and people, the world interact and integrate with one another, making the world more what connected. Now we move to the international organization that we have. And the first international organization we have, Economic Community of West African States. We've heard of this word before, it's not a new thing. We've come across ECOWAS. You know what is ECOWAS? Maybe likely they've taught us. So ECOWAS, the Economic Community of West Africa, which was founded on the 28th of May 1975. Take note. Most time you see all these questions in your objective. So most time you just take note of it. You can underline, you can jot it down, you try to practice and get used to them. So in case you see them in your exam, you'll be able to answer. So the Economic Community of West African States, which is ECOWAS. So the meaning of ECOWAS is Economic Community of West African States. That's the full meaning. Now, it was founded on the 28th of May, 1975 in Lagos, Nigeria. Now, it comprises of all the 16 independent nations of West Africa. All the 16 independent nations of West Africa. Now, take note again, Abuja is the administrative headquarters of the community. So when they ask, where is the headquarters for ECOWAS? No, it's located in Abuja. And then Lome is the fund headquarters. Nigeria under the leadership of General Yakubu Gowon and Togo under President Eyadema initiated the formation of the sub-regional economic grouping. Take note of these things. They usually comes in objective. I think last exam they set this question, but due to the fact that they said the questions were linked, they changed it. Most time you see all of these questions coming out. There are lots of people under ECOWAS. We have Nigeria, Ghana, Gambia, Sierra Leone, Liberia. You can even divide it like the English-speaking country, which are the Anglophone country, the Senegal, like that. And we have different countries comprises coming together to under what they are under ECOWAS. So take note of this key point. ECOWAS was founded on 28th May 1975 in Lagos, Nigeria. So Abuja is what? The headquarters. Now, what are the aims and objectives of ECOWAS? What are the aims? What do they want to achieve? Why did they form? Why did Yakubu Gowon and the president of Togo, why did they come together to say, okay, let's form something and call it ECOWAS? Let's form this and call it ECOWAS, which is Economic Community of West Africa, just West Africa. So all the West African states belong to, they are under ECOWAS. Now, what's the aim and objective of this? Now, one of the aim and objective is cooperation and development. That's the aim. Development and cooperation. Take note, because at the end of the class, I will ask these key questions so that I will be sure that you understand. Now, the aim and objective of ECOWAS said cooperation and development. That's one of the aim of ECOWAS. So it's to promote what? Is to promote cooperation and development in all fields of economic activities. All fields of economic activities. like the transportation, agriculture, telecommunication, um, energy, which is light, electricity, of course. There are a lot of them. Now they promote all of this among what? Among their member states. All those states that makes up ECOWAS, they promote them among them. All those states that makes up the organization. Then another aim and objective of ECOWAS is standard of living. Standard of living. Now to promote and what? Raise the standard of living of people through what? Through cooperation within what? The region. Promote the standard of living. Most time when you go to some African states, there are lots of them suffering due to lack of economic recession. Even Nigeria sometimes we experience economic recession and the rest. A lot of countries, even Nigeria is far more better than a lot of African countries. So the standard of living is one of the main objectives of ECOWAS as well, to promote standard of living. Then another aim and objective is economic stability, to promote economic stability, to increase and maintain economic stability within what? Within the community. Today, rice is expensive. Tomorrow, beans is expensive. All this kind of, they try to, I don't know if it's even working, but that is their aim, to promote economic stability. Everything to just be stable. Let's know this is the first thing, this is what we are doing in the whole of West Africa. Then to foster closer relation, not only for economic development, but also to foster a close relation between what? Between these West African states, close relationship. So by this would be able to, they will achieve this by encouraging what? Free movement of citizens and goods and services, to foster close relations, which include free movement, citizen moving with their goods and services. Then another thing is development of African continent. Their aim was to what? To develop African continent, the progress of African continent. So these are the aims and objectives of ECOWAS: cooperation, promote standard of living, economic stability, close relationship, development of what? The African continent. Most time we compare ourselves to US, we say they are more developed, they are this, they are that, and these are what Africans, when they come together, okay, let's form this and make our own Africa look different and more developed. So these are the aims. Then we talk about the organs of ECOWAS. Take note, and it must follow the way it is written. That's how it follows. So you learn it. The following are the organs established by the organization. It's hierarchical, the way you see it. So the organs of the organs of ECOWAS are what? We have the authority of what? Head of state and government. Why did I make a mistake in that title? So the authority of head of state and government. Now, this is the foremost, the highest authority of the organization. The highest authority. So it is usually made up of what? The head of state and government within the sub-region. And the organ is usually headed by a chairman, and it hold office for 1 year. Take note, these key points I'm mentioning, you might see it in objective. Hold office for 1 year, 1 year. And what? The office is usually what? The office of the chairman is rotational. They meet once in a year. Once in a year. To what? To discuss. Take note, the highest authority is what? The authority of the head of state or government is the highest authority in the organization, and is made up of the head of state and government within the sub-region. Then it is usually headed by the chairman, and then it's usually, the office is usually for 1 year. 1 year. And it's actually rotational. They rotate it. Then the other one you see.
Nobody can hear.
Can you hear me?
Ma. Yes, but I cannot
Hello?
see your screen, ma.
I can hear you, but I cannot see your screen, ma.
Who else is not seeing my screen, please? Hello, who else is not seeing my
I can,
screen?
I can see your screen.
I think it's your network. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, I can see it now, ma.
Can you see it now? Then the other organ is
Yes,
the
I can see it
Council
now.
of Ministers. Okay, the Council of Ministers. So the Council of Ministers usually consists of two ministers or representative from each member state. Two ministers, which is two representative from each state, each member state. Nigeria have two, Ghana has two, like that. So each has two members actually, and they what? These members they meet twice in a year, and they are voting at base of or based on what? Simple majority. In the authority of head of state, I'm repeating it, they are what? They are the highest authority, and then it's headed by the chairman, and they meet once in a year, and their election is usually what? Is based on rotation. So the office of the chairman is rotational, they rotate it. Then the Council of Ministers, they consist of two representatives or ministers from each state, and they meet twice in a year. The authority of head of state, they meet once in a year. Then we go to the executive. Now, when we talk about their key functions, now if you're talking about the authority of head of state or the government, they are responsible for what? Appointment of what? The executive secretary. They make decisions. They make decision recommendation. If any country wants to join, they approve or disapprove. Amendment of charter. So these are their functions. Decision making, recommendation, signing of treaties and agreements, amendment of the charter, because they are the highest. Then when you talk about the Council of Ministers, they implement decisions. So they might ask who's which organs of the ECOWAS actually implement decision. Just know it's the Council of Ministers. Then it appoints two deputy executive secretary. They appoint two. They're responsible for appointment as well. Then preparation of agenda. They prepare agenda. Then we'll talk about the executive secretary. Now, the executive secretary is the administrative organs of ECOWAS. It is located in what? In Abuja. Now, the secretary general is the head of the secretariat. We have secretary general. Now, what's the function? They do annual reports, appointment of staffs. These are their functions. They make budget, they prepare meetings, arrangement for meetings. Of course, you know what secretaries do. Then we have the fund for corporation. Now, the fund for corporation, their headquarters for this fund is actually located in Lome. That's where it's Togo. Now, it is headed by the managing director. Now, what's their function? The function of fund, the fund for corporation. They make fund. They provide compensation to member states that what maybe sustain loss in different by maybe wars, money, or maybe they lost a lot of things. They compensate them. Then investment, they're responsible for investment. The development of projects, they're responsible for the development of what? Of projects. Then we have the community tribunal. Now, this tribunal, they settle disputes among member states, making up the organization. They settle issues. Then we have the Technical and Specialized Commission. This topic sometimes is usually very boring because it's not always interesting. So we have the Technical and the Specialized Commission. Now, in the Technical and Specialized Commission, there are four. They are specialized. They have four technical and specialized commission. We have the industry, which is agriculture and natural resources. We have the trade, custom. We have the transportation. We have social and cultural affairs. These are under the technical and what specialized the specialized commission. Then we have problem and weakness of ECOWAS. What are the problems? Yes, we know they are here to promote to develop countries, peace between states, economic development and the rest. But what is not the problem? What are the problems that they face? One of the problems they face is colonial masters. Even though we claim we're independent, you know what is called imperialism. Imperial indirectly, they are indirectly ruling Africans. We say we are free, but then even the colonial masters, they are indirectly ruling us, making us look as if we are slaves to them, because we actually will still meet them for a lot of things. We borrow money, we do this, we do that. So most time the problem that we face is these colonial masters. So the political economic of member states is tight so that they are respectful to what to their former colonial masters. Even up till now, even up till now, we still feel those white people they are more superior than us. Most time, not everybody, just majority, they feel they are more superior than us. Even the things we do, we cannot even stand on our own. We still need them to come and okay, security, we still need them to come and all those kind of things we still take from them. It actually makes us towards to be very very powerless because we still depend fully on our colonial masters. We are still submissive to them. So how we think so we still borrow huge amount of money and the rest from all those countries just to run our economic system. Then we have language barrier. You know, these countries are made up of these ECOWAS are made up of different countries. It's a 16 countries underneath. So language barrier, most time we don't understand, they don't understand us. Now official language of members country like foreign varied, they vary. English, French, Portuguese come together, you don't understand each other. So that's one of the problems they face. Then another problem is free movement. Free movement, as provided by the Charter of ECOWAS, is no more automatic because of the socio-economic implication for member states. There's no more free movement. You can't just say, okay, because of you want to move your goods, you want to sell your goods, just the way we saw in the objective. Then you move from Nigeria and enter Ghana easily. It's difficult. You must go through process. You must go through a lot of process. So therefore, that free movement is actually restricted. So how will you sell your goods? You will pay huge amount to even transport your goods from here to another country or import goods to the country. Then we have common currency problems. Since they are made up of different states under ECOWAS, different currency problem. Nigeria has the currency, Ghana has, France have, Portuguese, they have their currency. Different countries have their currency, so it's actually a problem. Then we have poor infrastructure. Poor infrastructure. So most of the member states, they are adequately they are faced with poor infrastructure development. For example, they have poor roads, um, poor power generation, as in what we have in Nigeria, poor power generation. Sometimes there's no light, sometimes there's no steady light there. And then a lot of this communication, so poor infrastructure. Even Nigeria, no good roads. Most countries, they're even worse than our country. So all these things affect ECOWAS, they affect development of ECOWAS. Now we'll talk about the African Union. We talk about the African Union. What is African Union? African Union means, AU means African Union. That's the meaning of AU. Means African Union. Now, this African Union was officially established on July 9th, 2002. 2002 in Durban, South Africa. Now, why was it established? To replace the Organization of African Unity. It's something we call AOU. I believe you've come across that organization. So, OAU, actually to replace that OAU, it's a mistake there. Now, which had existed since 1963, AOU. Now, the AU was formed to promote greater unity and cooperation among African countries and to address the political, social, and economic challenges facing the country. That's the purpose for African Union, from OAU to African Union. Now, what are the institutions of African Union? I hope you guys are listening. No? What are the Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am, please, I'm lost. I don't understand what you just said now about the AU and this. You said OAU or something.
Yes, I said it's OAU. It was a mistake there. It's supposed to be OAU. Can you hear me?
Yes, my can.
Which means Organization of African Unity. Organization of African Unity. So this AU was established to replace OAU. We'll get to know why they actually established it to replace OAU. Now, what are just the way we have the organs of ECOWAS, we also have the institution of AOU. We have the institution of AOU. Now, establishment of community, establishment of committees, that's at the institution. We have the establishment of committees. We have the organizations, we have the organs, we have them too. Then we have the African Union Constituents Act, we have the Economic and Social Cultural Council, Peace and Security Council, the Secretary Commission. Other place you will find the Assembly of Head of State. But that, I think that is under AOU. That's under AOU. So just the way we have, like I said, we have the organs. Almost all of them, they have organs. So the community of what the establishment of committee, African Union, Economic and Social Culture, Peace and Security Council, the Secretary, the Commission. All these are what the institution of the AOU. They are the institution of AU, which is African Union. Don't forget, it was established when 2002. That was when it was established. Now, reason for the replacement of OAU with AU. Why did they replace it? Why did they replace it? Now, the reason for it is what need for a more proactive and what interventional body. They need a more active body organization because the OAU were not actually promoting anything. They were not actually working towards their aim. Their desire for a better integration and development across Africa. Development across Africa. It's self-explanatory. So the desire for a better integration and development. Most African countries, till now, they are not developed. They are not developed. Most time, most people they still look up to Nigeria because they are when it comes to economic recession, they are low, their infrastructure, nothing is there. Everything is about them is just so poor. Then we have a strong institution that will promote democracy, human rights, peace, and security. That's another the reason for AOU. They need a stronger institution that could promote democracy, that could promote human rights, and promote what peace and security. Now, what are the problems which may likely confront AOU? What are the problems faced by AOU? Let me see if we have aims. Okay. Now, most problems is financial dependence. Financial dependence. They want to depend on other countries. Money. They are not. Oh, they are not even steady. If you want to develop Nigeria today, you will want to borrow money from other countries. Then weak enforcement power. There's no strong power. There's no strong enforcement power. Then political instability and conflict. All these are self-explanatory. Then poor infrastructure and integration, like I said, poor infrastructure, corruption and bad government. All these are really self-explanatory. Corruption and bad government. Most African countries, the government is not even promoting anything. There's corruption everywhere. Corruption, poor infrastructure, like I explained, no good roads, economic recession, and the political instability, conflict. These are the problems that confront AOU. And what are the aims and goal of AOU? What do they aim to achieve? What now? One of their aims is to end war in Africa. To end war in Africa. If you look at other countries, when you talk about European countries, you see different crises. This is fighting this. But in Africa, you even hardly hear this country fighting this country. So their aim is just to end war in Africa. They don't want African country fighting one another, each other. Then to foster deep and strong political economics, deep and strong political, economic, and social integration among member states. Self-explanatory. Then a commitment to economic development. A commitment to economic development should be committed. You know, the purpose of ECOWAS is what is one of it is what development of economic development. So yeah, it's a commitment to what economic development should be committed to it. If they are developing, they should just develop. If they are sticking to these policies, they just so a commitment to economic development. Now to eradicate poverty in Africa, disease, want and ignorance in continent. Then a commitment to democracy and fundamental human rights. A commitment to democracy and fundamental human rights. These are the aims and goals of the AOU, what they want to achieve, what they aim to achieve. Then we'll talk about the United Nations Organization. The United Nations Organization, UNO. UNO. Now, the United Nations Organization came into existence in 1945. 1945. This was as a result of the failure of the League of Nations formed in 1919. After the First World War, 1914 to 1918. Now, what's the reason? To prevent outbreak of another war, e.g. the Second World War of 1939 to 1945. That's the main reason for what the United Nations Organization. United Nations, they wanted to stop the outbreak of war. During that time, First World War. So they never wanted a Second World War. They never wanted a Second World War. So since they don't want it, they have to what? Establish this organization what? To fight and stop and prevent what? The outbreak of another war. Now, the members, we have the USA, the France, Britain, China, Soviet Union, and about 50 other states came together to draw a charter. All these countries, they came together to draw a charter on 24th October 1945 at San Francisco, USA. Now, the essence of this charter was what? The desire for maintaining peace, to maintain peace and security among nations of the world. Remember, their aim is to what? To prevent the outbreak of what? Of war. To prevent the outbreak of war. So all these countries agreed to come together to work towards it. Now, what are the aims and objectives of the UN? What are the aims, objectives? Now, to maintain what international peace and security. International, not only within a particular country, but worldwide to maintain peace and security. Now, if this insecurity that Nigerians are facing, if they should call United Nations, oh, we need you to come and help us to fight these bandits, Boko Haram, all this, it will be very easy to just just wipe them. But then that's the purpose, to what promote peace, maintain international peace. So it's not within a particular country, but worldwide international peace and security. Now, to promote and encourage respect for human rights and fundamental what freedom for all races internationally, not only for black or for only white, but for everybody. Remember, the purpose of UNO is for what? To promote peace and what? End the war. So in order to promote peace, we have to what? Promote human rights, respect human rights first of all. Promote freedom, fundamental freedom. We have to accept each other, race internationally. You are black and white, let's come together. Now, another purpose is what? To promote economic and social advancement of all people. Everything is just directing towards economic. Now, to develop friendly relations among states based on mutual respect, equal rights, self-determination of people, to develop friendly relations between different countries, all the countries in the world. Now, another purpose is to settle disputes. Now, if Iraq and Israel are fighting, USA can come in and say, we want peace. You guys should stop fighting. Let's promote peace. Or Nigeria can say, oh, let's go and speak peace in this country. They are fighting. So their purpose is to settle this. That's the aim and objective of what the United Nations Organization. United Nations Organization. Remember, they still remain a strong power in the whole world. Now, the organization of the United Nations Organization. They have the General Assembly, which is made up of all member states. They have the General Assembly. Now, what's the purpose of this General? They promote peace and security. That's their aim, to promote peace and security and economic advancement. Now, what's their function? Their function is that they approve budget, they consider annual reports, voting, a lot elections, amendments. They do amendment. Now, when you come to that, the other one is the Security Council, the strongest. Security Council is another organs of the UNO, and it's the most powerful of all the organs. Most times you see this in objective question. So if they ask which organ is the most powerful when it comes to United Nations Organization, it says Security Council. They are the most powerful of all organs. They are the most powerful of all. Now they promote peace and security. They also have veto power. Each of the 5 permanent members of the Security Council has a veto. What? They have veto power. They can say no. The veto is a no. A veto by, like, they can say, oh, we don't want it, and it will stand. So that's the Security Council. They are more powerful. Then we have the Secretary, of course. Their headquarters is in UK. New York. And you know what the secretary do? They are what? They arrange a budget, annual budget. They maintain international peace, appointment. They give annual reports. They do the agenda. They prepare the agenda for General Assembly. Then we have the Trusteeship Council. So the councils are made up of what? The members nation of the United Nations Organization, and they're what? They're responsible for administering trust territories. trust territories. So they supervision of trust territories, which is to guarantee supervision of what the administration. Now, what again? Self-government, they give reports, assessments, the council pay regular visits to territories to assess the territories. They visit different territories. Then that is the International Court of Justice. International Court of Justice. Most time you see this, if you have gone through past questions, they will ask that the headquarters for the International Court of Justice is located where? It's located in Hague. 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 So it's located there. So most time they ask International Court of Justice located where their headquarters. So the International Court of Justice, they what? Maintain judicial organs. They settle disputes. They provide legal advice to what? The UN or the United Nations. That's their work. Then we have the Economic and Social Council. They have the Economic and Social Council, which are made up of 27 members. This topic is very broad. I'm just trying to cut, but you can go and read more. It's very broad. So that you understand it, and when it comes to this, and you're able to answer it, try to know every details about it. So we have the Economic and Social Council. Now they are made up of 27 members, and they are elected by what? The General Assembly. Now their function is what? They conduct research, carry out studies on issues like education, culture, economics, and they also prepare reports. So these are the organization of. Then we'll talk about the International Money Fund, which is IMF. If Nigeria needs money to develop any part of the country, they can say, okay, we want to borrow money to this country, we'll pay back like that. And people just finish paying our debt. They put it is a plus for Nigeria. We are holding a lot of money. Now we've cleared our debt. So the International Money Fund is a global financial institution established to promote international economic stability and cooperation. That's their purpose. It helps countries facing imbalance of payments problem and support economic growth through financial aid, policy advance, and technical assistance. You understand? Then it was founded on July 1944 at the what? Bretton Woods Conference and came into effect December 1945. And the headquarters is in where? Is in Washington, D.C., United States. United States. Now, what are the objectives of IMF? What are the objectives? Now, the objective is what? To promote international monetary cooperation among countries. To promote internationally, not only in a country. There are corporations. Okay, this country need money. Let's cooperate and support this country. Later, they will pay us back. They ensure exchange rate stability and avoid competitive evolution. Exchange rate stability. If this money naira high or dollar is high, or they ensure the exchange rate is what is stable. They facilitate balanced growth of international trade. Balanced growth of international trade. The growth should be well balanced. So balance growth of international trade worldwide, promote it. Then reduce poverty and support sustainable development. Support sustainable development. I don't know if you guys have heard about this sustainable development. This SDGs. Now let's also talk about they provide financial support to members country with what balance of payments problem. if a country is facing financial problem, they support. It's okay, we are lending you this. When you have, you pay back. So this is the objective of the IMF. That's the objective. Now we'll talk about the criticism of the IMF. Criticism. Now impose harsh condition on borrowing countries, e.g. cutting public spending, removing subsidy. Like, you know, this when they remove subsidy in Nigeria, everybody was shouting, oh, why is this? The country is tough. It's because we are not trying to pay all the money we borrowed. All the money we borrowed. The money we borrowed, trying to pay them. So whenever the countries borrow like this, it's actually impose harsh condition. Like Nigeria, we experienced it a lot. We experienced it. Everything will be so high, all this kind because we're trying to what? To pay back money and we need all these things. Now cutting public spending, removing subsidy is actually a harsh condition for a country. Then also favoritism towards healthy nations. Sorry, this one is healthy nations due to voting power imbalance. They might favor other countries. They might maybe depend on this country is rich or this country is high. They might favor them. Then increase debt burden in some cases. Increase. Just imagine you borrowing money, and then when you think you've started earning and want to start spending your money yourself, that's when you know you want to pay debt off, something that is even higher than your income. So it increases what debt burden in some cases. Then loss of economic sovereignty for borrowing countries. Loss of economic sovereignty for borrowing countries. Most time, because you borrow from other countries, they want to you will not even feel comfortable. The countries will not feel comfortable because they need to pay back. And if they need this thing, you don't have any option because you are owing them. You are owing them. So loss of economic sovereignty for borrowing countries. So these are the criticism. These are the problems of what these IMF. These are the problems that they face International Monetary Fund. So these are the problems. So imposition of hard condition on borrowing, favoritism towards healthy nations. Nation is booming, they are making it, they have money, so they can be favoritism, favor this one, I need this one, I don't have. Increased debt. We want to pay our debt, we want to pay our debt. And when those payment of debt, even in the country you see economic recession because nothing will be moving, everything is dry because we are trying to gather money to pay back other countries that were owing and loss of economic. I think this is the end of today's lecture. This is the end. I did not really go in depth because this topic is very wide. And if I go in depth, I don't think we'll finish today. So I just picked the few ones. Then you can go and read, try to memorize the whole thing, the years, the name, the headquarters, the organs. Try to memorize them because you don't know where the questions are coming from. So if you have any question, I think I'm open. I'm open to questions. So if you have any questions, you can ask. If you don't understand anything, you can take my attention. You can draw my attention to it, and then I'll go back and explain. Thank you. Hello, are you guys still there?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, thank God. Okay, if you have any question, please ask. If you don't, I think I will have to ask. If not, if you have any question from previous class, you can also ask. It's not compulsory you have to ask from this, because this topic is very broad, and it will take time to digest it. So if you have questions from other topics, the ones we've treated before, you can ask so that we'll treat them. If you ask from this one, you don't understand, you want some clarification, and actually still ask. Is there any question? Did I ask my question? Okay. Okay, I think I only have one question. I only have one question. So my question is, what are the determinants of foreign policies? Anybody can just answer. Determinant of foreign policies. Yeah, the next lecture will be interesting. It will not be as boring as this. Are you guys still there?
Your question is determinant for foreign policy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So determinant for foreign policy includes international environment, national interest, and domestic
I can't hear you.
I did some determinant for foreign policy. Some includes international interest, domestic factors, and international environment.
Mm, do you understand the question?
No.
Okay, let me try. Let me try like the determinant. Can you hear me? Hello?
Hello,
Can
can
you
you
hear me?
hear me? Yes, yes,
Oh,
I
yes.
can hear you now.
Okay.
So the determinants.
Let me try. Determinant military power.
Okay.
Military power, and the military power, it tells about the strong defense capabilities, impacts, how a country negotiates or respond internationally.
Mm-hmm.
Then we talks about public opinion, which tells citizen views and media pressure can affect foreign policy directions. And it's also the international environment. Am I right?
Okay. Yes. There are lots. There are lots of determinants. There are lots.
Okay.
Mm.
International environment, which are the global trade alliance. Then the action of other states also influence decisions. Then it tells about economic strength, the
Okay.
wealthier nation up to they have more global influence and can see trade or section as tools. That's all I know.
Actually, you tried. What's your name, please?
Anuluwakpoma.
Okay, can you message me after the class? Let me give you something for answering my question.